think, again, maybe Detroit wasn't ready at the time for companies not just to start here, but to scale here. But I think we are now. And so we're investing as a family office in that next generation of local founders, right? Trying to be the friends and family money for a lot of folks whose friends and family don't have money to invest this way. Actually, the bottom two on the right here, they just moved to Detroit. We just brought them up from Austin and from Indiana. And so it's happening. In fact, this is the second year in a row in which Detroit finally grew, right, as population versus shrink. And part of it's because there's a movement happening, right? We helped to fund an organization called Black Tech Saturdays, which grew from Johnny Alexa Turnage to 12,000 people right here in the city, really building a culture and a community and a platform for tech in the city that is authentically Detroit. This is going on to its second year. But across the city, it's not just in the downtown, it's in the neighborhoods too. You know, the Durfee Innovation Center, which is an old school that was also reinvented, right, into a thriving community center. This is one of the neighborhoods in Detroit where, when they survey residents about where they're feeling like they're supported and feel like they're thriving in their lives, this is one of the top, if not the top, neighborhoods, even though it's also not necessarily one of the richest. Anchor Detroit is also happening over the east side, matching up with the west side. And there's an arts campus here. I wish we would all go there, but the Shepherd and Little Village, Detroit's east side. It's anchored by the Central Romanesque Church that serves as a multifunction kind of cultural arts center, galleries, library, a cool skate park. I'm a skateboarder, but Tony Hawk built this thing, it's pretty good. And so as you think about, you know, in the face of all this change, what are those lessons of Detroit's reinvention that we need to carry forward that are more important than ever? Because this sign here, this is just up the street, Detroit, the new Silicon Valley of America.
Let's go.
You know, you don't need another Silicon Valley, I think, in this country. What we need are a lot more Detroits, frankly.
Yeah. Yes.
And the way that we do that is the way MLK said, right? When he showed up for his Walk for Freedom. We need to walk together. We need to talk together. We need to work together. And for the last year, we've been collaborating with owners of one of very few remaining Black-owned buildings downtown, trying to pull together the community of support around how do we build something for the community. So we have dozens of community partners and stakeholders as you rethink how can we reinvent our innovation economy here in Detroit. Because the next unicorn here, I believe, statistically speaking, ought to be Black. So let me take a quick pause here to show you something. So this project is called the Mothership. And it is an Afrofuturist hub for tech and innovation that's going to be here in downtown Detroit with community partners from across the city. The goal here is to create a density, right, of startups, of capital, of community, and help build, again, the next generation of companies that will build the city. Because reinvention is a Detroit tradition, but it's also a call, right? What can we build that carries soul, not just scale? And what if we all build companies the way that Detroit makes music, with roots and rhythm and meaning? And what if we cared more for the soul and not just the math of business? My friend Stephen McGee, you'll see him if you go to New Lab. He's doing some portrait sessions for people in New Lab today. But he says that Detroit is the Paris of the 20s, the Berlin of the 80s, the San Francisco of the 60s. It's a place to build. Detroit is built to build. As my friend Jenna Pierce says, Detroit is big enough to matter in the world, but also small enough for you to matter in it. And so it's an invitation. I'll just say, the best advice I ever got was this: if faced with two choices in life, do whatever makes for the better story. Right? That's all we got in life. My great hope here is that your Detroit story will continue beyond Summit. I just want you to know that you'll always have friends here, ready to help to make that happen when you are. So with that, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to Detroit, spending your time here, meeting our folks here, getting involved. And do remember these stories as you go and see New Lab, the station today, and meet more of the local Detroiters who've been part of all this and carrying the water for all this time. Thank you.